Opinions vary.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Opinions Vary. That's Opinions with an A. Happy New Year, but actually it's not, as it looks like New Orleans was attacked last night, and it appears to be, by all indications, to be a terrorist attack. I don't want to come on and be the first to be wrong like the media does, but all indications are this was a terrorist attack, and it looks like it might be a very well-planned terrorist attack from a foreign area, foreign nation. We'll get more details, I hope. But these days, who knows with the FBI? And I'm going to try to keep myself under control as we watch the initial press conference, which doesn't give anybody any real confidence going into this investigation. And then I'll listen to a Fox News report, which I haven't even watched yet. I'm trying to get this on right away, and we'll comment on that. As I said, it looks like this was a terrorist attack. It was successful. It was well planned. How this was able to happen, I don't know. In a post 9/11 world, I don't know. I'll lend some of my experience along the way as a member of law enforcement for 25 years. A few of those years with the NYPD, where, yes, I did work the detail at Times Square more than once. And we'll talk about that too. Without any further ado, let's get into this. Let's go.
Good morning. First of all, we do know that the city of New Orleans was impacted by a terrorist attack. It's all still under investigation.
She just said terrorist attack.
You'll hear more after me.
That's the mayor of New Orleans.
However, I have been in direct contact with the White House, with Governor Landry, and of course a unified command who is present here. What I'm asking at this time are prayers for those who have lost their lives in the city of New Orleans due to this tragedy.
Last night, we had over 300 officers out here. And because of the intentional mindset of this perpetrator who went around our barricades in order to conduct this, he was hell-bent.
Were there police officers manning those barricades? That's question number one. Did you just have a truck? What was the barricade, number one? Were there police officers also manning the barricade? I need those answers. We all need those answers, and we need them now.
On creating the carnage and the damage that he did. Because of the nature and the indices that we have on the scene, and we have enough information that the FBI will be taking over this investigation.
Lately, some of the words you just don't want to hear because the FBI has not been... let's say up to par as of late, as of late meaning probably the last, I'm going to go 10 years.
And with that, I am going to be asking, this is the assistant agent in charge. This is Agent Duncan, Special Agent Duncan, and she has taken over this case on behalf of us and the FBI. As always, we will be in partnership with all of our partners. But Agent Duncan, if you want to have a few words for me.
Listen to what she says right off the bat.
My name is 𝐿𝐸𝐵𝐿𝐸 Duncan. I'm the Assistant Special Agent in charge for FBI New Orleans. As Chief Kirkpatrick said, we'll be taking over the investigative lead for this event. This is not a terrorist event.
I'm going to lose my mind. The mayor came on 2 minutes ago and said this was a terrorist attack. Now you have somebody from the FBI coming on and saying this is not a terror event. The FBI needs to be disbanded. The FBI needs to be ripped down, root and branch, and started over again by Kash Patel. How the hell does this person come on and say this was not a terror attack when the mayor of the city just said it was, and all indications from anybody with half a brain says this looks like a terrorist attack? What the hell is going on in the FBI? And by the way, where the hell is Joe Biden? It is 11:33 in the morning right now. Where is Joe Biden? Where is the president of the United States? The mayor said they were in contact with the White House. Who at the White House? Joe Biden's maid? Who?
Daddy, chill.
Well, I said I was going to try to keep it under control. I failed.
What it is right now is their improvised explosive devices that was found, and we are working on confirming if this is a viable device or not.
It doesn't matter. This was a planned attack. This is terrorism, whether it was from a foreign country or it was from within. This is terrorism. It is textbook.
As Chief Kirkpatrick said, we're asking everyone to stay away from Bourbon Street, specifically from Canal Street to St. Anne. That is my ask. once again, stay away from Bourbon Street, Canal Street, all the way to St. Anne until we can figure out what is going on.
Former FBI agent and Fox News contributor Nicole Parker. Nicole, thank you for waking up for us on this New Year's Day. You are seeing the news unfold, and we are trying to parse and make sense of the unbelievably conflicting messages coming from the mayor, calling it a terror attack, and then the now FBI Assistant Special Agent in Charge, 𝐬𝐫𝐫𝐷𝐿, immediately saying it was not.
This is the first I'm seeing this report with all of you. So let's go. I'll comment along the way when I hear something that, it's probably going to set me off again, but we'll see.
Griff, first of all, thank you for having me join. What a horrible tragedy. I mean, I literally were waking up with hope for 2025. I was literally out running, and I got a text message from Fox asking if I could join. And here we are, again, discussing another tragedy in our country. I agree with you. That press conference was not good.
That's putting it mildly. Not good. That was a disgrace. That was textbook of how not to do a press conference. Anybody wants to learn how not to do a press conference, that's going to be the video they're going to show.
Not send a conflicting message out to the American people and give them reassurance that everything's okay. That was very confusing. And you're exactly right. You have someone from the police department coming out and saying it's terrorism. And then you have FBI coming out and saying it is not terrorism, but they're
I believe it was the mayor, not the police. It was the mayor of the city that came out and said it's terrorism. She was in contact with the White House. And then you have the special agent or the assistant to the special agent in charge. Where is the actual special agent in charge? Is she hungover? Where is the special agent in charge of New Orleans? Where are they?
Daddy, chill.
IEDs involved. My gut instinct, this is terrorism. The FBI is taking over this for a reason. There will be a lot of information that will come out. I do know individuals that are on the ground there right now. This is very serious. This is the real deal. They're going to do a very full and thorough investigation. At this point, that's all I can tell you, Griff, is that this is the real deal. You will get more information coming soon. Likely involves... I think that there's definitely some foreign terrorist organization groups involved backing this.
Okay, so she's a former FBI agent. She probably knows people that are still there. Maybe somebody's giving her some information. They're telling her that this is a foreign entity, a foreign state that pulled this off. We're under attack. This is an attack on the United States. We are under attack right now.
As you mentioned, that there's been other things that have occurred in other countries recently, similar in nature. There are people that hate America. They hate our freedoms. They hate what we stand for. This is a time when people are celebrating New Year's.
And they all walked across Joe Biden's open border, by the way.
This is 2025. People have hope. And like you said, big bowl game going on. People are coming together. And this person was hell-bent on causing absolute destruction and chaos. The fact that the FBI said it is not terrorism. Again, I am not the spokesperson for the FBI. I am a former FBI agent. I would strongly disagree with that statement. Yeah. And I do believe that it is terrorism.
Anybody with a half a brain who has any shred, I say it all the time, a shred of common sense or objectivity, knew instinctually this was a terror attack just by the setup, the way it was pulled off, the copycat style, everything, the whole 9 yards.
The fact that the FBI is taking over, that is a very strong indication. And based on information that I have, this is the real deal, and it is very serious.
Hi, Nicole. Thanks so much for being with us. This is Nicole. Question for you. Chief Kirkpatrick said that they spoke to the White House and that the FBI is going to be taking over the investigation. And then, Special Agent Duncan then came out and said this is not a terrorism event. I feel like she was alluding to maybe at this time, what would it take for them to declare this a terrorist event? Maybe they're waiting for more information or confirmation of something, but what is it that they would be looking for to actually give it that classification?
Right. So there have been instances that I've, responded to, and initially it could go either way, right? It could go with the locals, it could go with the feds, but anytime that there's mention or indication or sign of something like ISIS, that's going to go to FBI. Okay. So anything that is declared or appears to be terrorist related, whether it is or it is not in the end, if there are any indications that it could be, that's going to automatically go to FBI.
How about this? And I'm hearing there are rumors that there was a flag on the back of this pickup truck. It was a pickup truck with Texas plates that ran through on Bourbon Street and killed 10, and it said injured 30 plus as of now. There was a flag attached to the back of this truck. Now, there's been photos all over X. Now, if you go to X, you are going to get updates by the second so much faster than anything you're going to get on TV at this time. Some of it might be wrong, but a lot of it isn't. And you're getting information that you are not going to hear on the news, on CNN, on Fox, on MSNBC, on anywhere. So if you want to actually keep up to date with this, check on people like me who are looking at X and going to come on here and talk about it, or just go on X and scroll through, and you're going to find so much more information, and you could decide for yourself what you think is true, what's not, but at least you're getting something. I don't trust the FBI to give us anything. Are we really going to find out what's going on? Is this someone who, once again was on the radar that slipped through? All right, I'll stop. Let's keep going.
The fact that it is going to FBI, that is a strong indication of what is going on right now. Again, I have sources that this is a terrorist event.
Nicole, so you've said some things and you hadn't said them together. You know people there, you have sources, you strongly believe this is a terrorist attack. You even went so far as to say, potentially foreign actors involved, maybe similar to incidents have happened. So if we take that at face value, if we take this idea that 2 out of 3 people essentially called it a terrorist attack, then we deduce that perhaps the assistant special agent in charge misspoke. If that were the case, is there any onus at the FBI to come back to the microphone and clear that up quickly, or wait till the next press conference? I mean,
and have somebody else come to the microphone. If she should be, you're removed. Yeah, we're going to go with somebody else on this one. Have a nice, thank you for trying. Go back to the office.
They have to know that, Fox is sitting here talking about this. The other networks are probably talking about this. Everyone's confused. Where, isn't there some sort of, is there someone in charge who would say, hey, let's go back to the microphone and clear this up real quick?
Thank you.
I absolutely agree with your statement. I left the FBI for a reason. Unfortunately, I can't explain what they did. I no longer work there, but I can just tell you that, they're probably being very careful to make certain statements publicly because they want to make sure that they have all their ducks in a row. And I respect that.
How about you say this? We are investigating this as a possible terror attack. Start there. And then knock it down to say, you know what? We investigated and we came to this conclusion. You can't come out to say to people with a straight face to this country and say that what we're looking at, this whole thing, we've seen it all over the world. We've seen it in the past United States, in Manhattan a few years ago on the West Side Highway, where it's a terror attack, whether it's foreign or domestic. This is a terror attack. This is an act of terror.
Right. But when you have people from different law enforcement agencies giving conflicting information, that's never a good thing for the American people. They deserve transparency. They deserve to understand what's going on in their communities. And I'll just leave it at that. I would hope that the FBI would clarify things as quickly as they possibly can, because there does seem to be some confusion, and that's never a good thing. But like Alexis mentioned, your reporter, when things initially break out, there always is chaos. I worked on violent crime at the FBI, and when something breaks, it's always go, 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 and tons of information is coming in, and everyone's just trying to get all hands on deck and get things organized. Maybe that's what that was. But I just would like you to know, and for viewers to know, that sadly and tragically, this does appear that this wasn't just, like one of the officers mentioned, this is not just someone who was drunk and drove their car into a crowd. This does appear to be quite intentional, probably very well planned out.
Absolutely.
Probably didn't just come up with this idea today.
Not a chance. This is planned. This was probably, I'm going to say, more than one person. This was planned. They knew the weak point. They exploited it, and they executed.
Probably plan this out several days in advance, maybe more. This is a hot spot. This is where people celebrate, and we know that those that commit terrorist acts, their goal is to create total chaos, havoc, fear, death, and destruction. And there are people that want to see us be hurt.
Yep. Well, this is to drive fear, where people, I'm not going to the next thing in New Orleans. I'm not going to a major crowd anymore. That's what the whole point of terror is. It's to destroy your way of life through fear, destroy freedom through fear.
And you mentioned a hot spot, Nicole. Look, this is very much still ongoing. New Orleans Emergency Preparedness Homeland Security Office tweeting out at their NOLA Ready X account handle saying, because this is an active scene, we're urging residents to stay off Bourbon into Canal, and Domaine to Royal to Dauphine. So it appears that they are concerned about what may still exist. And walk us through maybe some of their concerns
the IEDs,
as people are starting to wake
explosive
up
devices.
In New Orleans. What might be further concerns that they're being so careful about?
Right. So the 𝐸𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞𝐭, she mentioned
Evidence.
IEDs. That's obviously a very serious concern, right? They need to do this is a very active investigation right now. That in and of itself, you need to stay out of the area.
The whole area is a crime scene. The entire block. There could be blocks. This crime scene could expand blocks depending on where this investigation goes.
Because they've got to have all the space they need. This is a crime scene and they need everyone to stay away. And the fact that there could be other IEDs, if that was when, mentioned that they said that there were IEDs involved, they need to do major sweeps of the area. But again, active crime scene in and of itself without IEDs, stay away from the area. And I know that's not reassuring to tourists. I mean, this is the hottest spot in New Orleans. But you know what? Your safety is first. I guarantee you they're going to be evacuating the areas in that surrounding immediate area. There's going to be a lot that they're going to have to do, but I truly believe this is an act of terrorism and needs to be treated as such. And this is an all hands on deck matter. And it's very tragic.
This investigation, you're going to do canvassing for blocks on this. Who saw what? Knocking on doors. Did you see this pickup truck? Did you see this pickup truck yesterday? Did you see anybody suspicious walking around that gave you a bad feeling? All of that stuff this is going to expand for blocks, maybe the whole entire city, to find out who knew what and when and all of that stuff. You need to do it, and they will, I hope.
But this is how we're starting off 2025 in America.
It is. It's tragic. 10 dead, 30 in the hospital. 2 officers have been shot. Nicole, one thing.
That's another thing. Cops ranted. I did see a video of that. They were gunshots. This person came out of the vehicle with a gun, firing at the police officers who were responding. And you have the FBI coming on here saying this is not an act of terror? It's incredible.
That they said 8 blocks. They don't want anybody coming. They mentioned that there's possible explosive device. We have the Sugar Bowl there later on today. What do you think the FBI is going to do in preparation of that? Should people be concerned? I
would be concerned.
Right. Well, I can tell you that the FBI has been preparing for the Sugar Bowl. That's not something, again, that the FBI starts preparation for. Again, I was an FBI agent here in Miami. We have the Orange Bowl. We have big events here in Miami. We have the Super Bowl. Those are things that, as the FBI, they prep for these events well in advance. And they're prepping with the local counterparts, local, state, and federal. They're all getting hands on deck. But when an incident like this happens, Nicole, this is actually the type of thing that they try to mitigate the threat that this could occur. Yeah. Sadly, the tragedy has already occurred. And so I'm not saying that they couldn't, continue to wreak havoc on other venues, but I would hope and pray that the worst is behind New Orleans. This is absolutely horrific and tragic. But yes, you're right. The FBI works with their local, state, and federal counterparts for large events, especially like a bowl game. There's a lot of preparation that goes into it. But sadly, this event already occurred. And one thing that I noted from one of the police chiefs that spoke was that this person went around the barricades, because we're in a society now where they set up barricades on streets, everything that they can do to mitigate risk. This person went around that. This was a very planned out, well orchestrated.
I'm going to stop it again. I'm sorry. But yes, I said that in the beginning of the video. Were there police officers manning those barricades, or were they just barricades set up with, say, a big sanitation truck blocking off the street where maybe the sidewalk was open? How is this done? I'm going to get into it at the end when this ends, a little bit of my experience with this, and we'll go from there.
Event, and it's very awful, and I just, it's just stunning to me that here we are, New Year's Day, but it's not actually that stunning, because in the FBI and in law enforcement, we all know that the large events, they target large events. Because there are a lot of people and they want to hurt as many people as possible. So again, it's not totally shocking, but that's where we're at.
Yeah, and it really does highlight the fact that with all of our efforts and all the things that are thwarted every day, that we're still vulnerable in a free society, and there's still opportunity for people to hurt us and harm us. And Nicole Parker, former FBI agent, thank you so much for joining us and giving us your expertise.
So you had that there. I mean, I thought she did a good job. I thought she was as honest as she probably could be, without getting herself in trouble, even though she's not active FBI. She probably doesn't want to say anything or go too far with it, but you know where she was coming from, okay? As far as these barriers, when I worked NYPD in New Year's Eve several times, pre-9/11, every intersection with access to Times Square, and we're talking a large area, was blocked with sanitation trucks and cement barriers, and there were police officers at every intersection. There was not just a barrier with no cops there. So this is pre 9/11. How this can happen now? We're talking 24 years after 9/11 coming up this year. And we have Bourbon Street in New Orleans. And this is something, Bourbon Street is packed every day. I don't know if you've ever been there. I have. Bourbon Street, this is a regular thing for Bourbon Street. That street is packed with people every single day of the year. Of course, on New Year's Eve, Mardi Gras, Jazz Fest, certain events, you're going to have it even more. But every day, this is not new for the city of New Orleans to be able to secure Bourbon Street. How does this happen? How does a pickup truck, able to drive into Bourbon Street on New Year's Eve? How? Was this an inside job? Was it? I'm not saying it was. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but how does this happen? And the FBI with Las Vegas, how we never heard anything more about that. With the first assassination attempt on Trump, we never heard anything more about that. With everything with Trump, with the dossier, with the Russia hoax, the FBI, from 𝐦𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐿, now to Christopher Wray, the FBI, and I said this before, well before I came on a YouTube channel or did anything. I said the FBI years ago, when I heard 𝐦𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐿 speak, I said, the FBI needs to be overhauled. I said, this guy is a disaster. When he was testifying in front of Congress, I go, this guy doesn't speak like anybody in law enforcement does. This is a joke. I said, this doesn't sound like somebody leading the most prestigious law enforcement agency in the world. And the FBI, it has continued to go downhill since then. And part of that falls on the Donald Trump administration from back when his first term, because Donald Trump, whether he wanted to or not, appointed Christopher Wray, and nothing's changed. In fact, it's gotten worse. And we just saw it in real time just now, how bad it's gotten, where you have the mayor of a city coming on and saying, this was a terror attack, and 5 seconds later, you have the assistant special agent in charge say it's not. Unbelievable. Needs to be fixed. Kash Patel cannot get into office fast enough, and he better do the job that we think he can do. He has to. Our country depends on it. It just does. It's a serious situation, obviously. So I'm going to leave it there. I apologize if I'm yelling a little bit and I go a little. That's how I am. I'm passionate. I get involved. I am. And that's it. If you don't like that, you don't have to watch. If you do, great. If you're indifferent about it, great too. I'm glad you stuck around this far. I appreciate you watching. Condolences and prayers to all those who were affected by this, who were killed, who were injured, who actually just had to see it happen. That's not something you ever forget. So, and it shouldn't be happening. Not in this country. Not in this country. It should not happen. But apparently it still does. So please add whatever you want in the comments about this. Just go ahead. Spout off. Say whatever you like. I read them all. I respond to every single one of them. And Happy New Year, even though this is not the way we wanted to start. And that's it. So please like, share, subscribe, if you made it this far especially. And we'll see you next time right here at Opinions Vary.
Opinions vary.